Well, hi. It's Sunday night. I don't know the date. In August 2021. And I've spent last night and today grieving the death of my dear friend and teacher and guide, David Tucker. And David has been dealing with very serious illness for many years. And a lot of people have been touched very deeply by David, and he's taught a lot of people and helped a lot of people. And I want to honor him tonight. That's why I lit this candle. Got a fire extinguisher nearby because it's fire season in California. And I want to ring a bell for David, and I want to drum for David. And this may bring you to being in a trance, and just keep something in your hand, something sacred to you, so you don't get too tranced out, because you really want to trance into your heart and have your mind in your heart. And if you knew David, then and are grieving, then I invite you to just let that feeling wash over you of grief. I won't see David in physical body anymore, ever. David Tucker is gone. And there's only been one person in the recorded history that was David Tucker, and he's now dead, physically. Nobody else is ever going to be like David Tucker. He had his time, and I'm very sad. I will miss him. I have missed him because he's been ill and out of my day-to-day life. And he's certainly been on my inside life a lot. And so as I'm beating the drum, you may think about David or think about somebody else who's died, who you really miss, who had a big gifts to give to you. And they could be gifts that made you feel really good, or they could be gifts that you didn't like, and then you found out those parts of yourself that you hadn't been looking at, that didn't like that kind of stuff. And so our friends open our hearts and open our minds. And David was a great teacher, and he was a great healer, and he was a great visionary. His mother was a politician. His father was a lawyer, and his brother had a very big impact on David, and his brother is now dead too. And David was very competitive and liked physical sports and liked music, and he had many, many, many talents. And I met David first when I was in a very deep trance in an ayahuasca ceremony in Peru years and years ago. I don't know how many years ago. And the ayahuasca spirit said to watch out for an invitation to a meeting, and that there were people there that would be very important to me for the rest of my life, and that maybe I could help them and maybe they could help me, and we had things to do together. And so I came back to West County, Sonoma, in Northern California, And about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call inviting me to a meeting. And that's where I met David. And that's where I met Lynn and Neil. And it was in the house of my friends Karen and Billy. And I learned about this organization. And I learned about how ayahuasca had been a big part of it, a big part of healing the planet and saving life and supporting goodness and sanity. And years later, I went down to the jungle with David and his fiancée Sabine, and we were in the jungle, and I was meeting his friends, and I had very powerful epiphanies, and then I came back and I joined this organization, and it's been a part of my life ever since. And I've met wonderful people through it. It really helped me start to wake up to who I am. And, I am somebody who's created a lot of chaos in their lives, in my life and in other people's lives. And David and this organization and all these spirits have been very helpful to me in being a better man than I was and living a long time. So I'm going to ring a bell at first, and then I'm going to do some drumming. And I invite you to think about David, or think about someone who you're grieving. And if you have a sadness, then let that sadness come into you. Be with it. We're so often afraid to feel anything, and we're ashamed of suffering. We're ashamed of crying, so many of us. I'm not ashamed of that stuff anymore. I know that if I want to be a man, I want to be alive, that I've got to suffer, and I can suffer easily with the help of other people, acknowledging that we all suffer together. And it's the suffering and the grief that actually brings us together. It's what we all share. It's the common thing. Doesn't matter the color of your skin, or, how much money you've got or haven't got, or no, it's called grief. And this is an opportunity to feel it. And if you feel something unfinished, like, and you feel angry, or, I have a feeling about David, like, God, why did you say that to me? Then just stop and replay, feel the feelings, but then replay it. How would you have liked it to turn out? And then you might even get to that wonderful point of realizing that as much as you don't like that point in your story with David or with whoever you're grieving, that it was perfect. Look what it taught you about yourself. And can you make amends by saying, well, I want to work hard so that kind of stuff doesn't happen again in my life or anybody else's life. And, how can we help each other be better people than we think we are? So here we go. And thank you for watching this. And I hope it helps you with your grieving and your learning and your learning to be human and learning to care with a full heart, with a strong heart and a steady heart, not pretending. Like, let's admit it. It hurts. I'm hurting. I'm hurting that my friend David died, and I'm glad my friend David died because he was suffering and his family was suffering. And I know that he went through many transformations. And he was a strong spirit to start with, and boy, his spirit just got stronger and stronger. And maybe I'll make a video about a vision that I had when I went and Right. Anyway, but just don't be surprised by any vision you have. It's happening on your inside, and just let it happen. And afterwards, you may want to make a drawing or write a poem or something. So this is a bell. It was given to me years ago. And this is like ringing the bell of respect. Wishing David a safe journey into his next lives. Asking David's spirit to help us, to help the rainforest, and for David's spirit to give us all remembering that we're strong. And if we follow our hearts and stay connected, if we clean up our messes, then everything's going to be all right. Thank you, David Tucker. And thank you all the other people I grieve. My mother and my father. I met Samagamus, Neil Wan. More and more people every year. To all my teachers. Thank you, David Tucker. My teacher, my healer. Thank you for the visions you shared with me. Thank you for the lessons on being a spiritual warrior. And turning up when the going went tough. And caring deeply and trying our best. And then forgiving ourselves when our best may not have been good enough. And coming back to make it more. And I've seen David Tucker knocked to his knees spiritually. And I've seen him get back up again and look into the eyes of his shadows and befriend them and use them. Make use of his traumas. Not use his traumas as an excuse. And using his traumas as teachers. As activators. I miss you, David Tucker. And I feel closer to you now than when you were in your body. David and I shared another teacher, and her name is Angelus Arian, and she's on the other side. She passed over. And her work was so important to me. And then I found out that she had gone and worked with this organization and met David, and he had been influenced by her too. Her name is Angelus Arians. And there are many books and all excellent work. And she taught me so much, and she taught me about drums. And she said that for her and her lineage of Basque healers, teachers, visionaries, warriors, that the drum was really sacred. And the drum represented the energies of the South. And the South is all about healing and good energy and dancing, having a good time, getting a little drunk, relaxing, letting spirit flow through, loving our kids, protecting each other, figuring out another way to get to settle differences. It's about staying sane. Thanks, David Tucker. I love the times that we would drum. I love the times when we would trance together. We would call in the spirits and the directions. We would sing the sacred songs. We'd open our hearts. We'd cry together and laugh together. And I regret the times that I couldn't come with you and couldn't come to your birthday party and couldn't drive across the country with you and all the other things. But I have redreamed them. I love you, David Tucker. I support your family, your wife, your daughters, your mother, your father, the people you love that love you. I will tell you stories, David. Yeah. I'll even tell all of the stories, David, someday. And I'll keep your spirit alive. You gave me some gifts, and I call those gifts by your name. So I will always remember you. Long time ago, I said to you, if you die, what do you want me to do? And you told me a few things, and I will do them. Thank you for teaching me about death. Come on back. All you travelers, come on back. It's time to get on with living. We're alive. We've got the work to do. We can ask David for help, but he's free of, as somebody said, the hard part of existence. And thank you very much for watching, and please, somewhere, I guess there'll be some opportunities to leave David's stories, I hope, but that's too technologically advanced for me to do. So thank you very much, and thank you, David. Thank you for all that you've given me. Ciao, ciao. How can I stop this?